Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome. And for those of you who've been following me for a while, you know that generally I've stopped doing interviews with any regularity, but I interviewed Barry Barton a couple of weeks ago. Barry, wave to the camera. Hey. And she did a great job, and she had more material that I thought would be relevant for you, whether you're looking for a job, doing a presentation, going to a meeting, stuff related to the preparation beforehand. But we're not going to talk about researching people. That's talk to death. But we're going to talk about the final countdown, where you're working. Are you going to do the dance with me? The final countdown. Before you actually walk in for the meeting, for the presentation, for the interview, to get yourself ready. So Barry of standanddeliverasheville.com. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff. It's wonderful to be back.
Glad to have you back. And I thought this was a great topic because I think most people have the idea of doing a certain amount of prep beforehand, but there's this one period of time right before they're starting a presentation, a meeting, an interview that I think gets ignored. I know I haven't really covered it with any regularity. So what do you think people ought to be doing?
You know, I think we can all use that little extra boost, that little extra sort of leg up approach. And it doesn't take a lot of time. That's the thing. Yeah. Oh, is it coffee?
Caffeine, that works.
It doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't really take a lot of even really knowledge. It's finding certain things that get you ready, that get you prepared. Now, some of us are extremely nervous. You know, for example, when I speak, I've been up in front of an audience most of my adult life as a dancer on stage, speaking, and I still get nervous. And so I need to get connected to my breath, my body, and my voice. Mm-hmm. And some folks, they need the opposite. They need to calm down, they need to sit down, they need to close their eyes, they need to relax their body. And so it's more like a volume knob. Do I need to amp up, or do I need to take my high amp and amp it down? So I'm going to give you a couple suggestions, if that's okay.
Of course it is. That's why you're here. So maybe we could start with the person who's feeling nervous. Because I think that's a common trait that people have, that they're a little bit nervous going into the interview. They've got a lot of stuff running through their head. And how do they calm down?
So this can be done for interviews, giving a presentation, leading a meeting, going into a networking event, anything where you're feeling maybe a little bit at odds, a little nervous. So it can be for really anything. But let's say you're getting ready to go for an interview. You're 10 minutes from where you're going. Maybe you're walking in a city street, on the subway, in your car. You need to figure out the techniques that work for you. So I'm going to give you a couple of ideas. Number one, I wholeheartedly believe in getting some physicality. So that can be as simple as, now, of course, you don't want to do this in the waiting room in front of the secretary. You don't want to do this in the middle of your interview or right before you go on stage. You want to do this in private. But as simple as, some people will do a little jumping just to get the blood flowing, shaking the whole body, shaking the hands, shaking the shoulders, just kind of shaking out the nervousness is a great way. So that creates the blood flow, and then you begin to feel enlivened, but it also has a tendency to relax you. Another way is because you're going to be using your voice, you want to be warming up your vocal cords.
I got to pause you here for a second and back up. You said shaking and getting physical and getting yourself, what to some people might seem amped up, is actually going to be calming.
It will be.
That's interesting. It seems counterintuitive that it would happen that way.
Well, I think it's that endorphin gets gets going, the cortisol level drops down, and so the body actually feels calmer. And I think many of us that have experienced this after for those of us that do regular exercise, you can feel actually kind of a both of, I feel more energy, but I also feel calmer. So it's both. It's creating both states of being, moving the body. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Back to the vocal cords.
A really effective one.
Uh-huh.
The vocal cords. You're in the car, sing happy birthday, sing a song, anything to get your voice warmed up and moving, and do articulation exercises. So it could just simply be like saying boo, boo,
Boo.
boo,
Boo.
wow.
Wow.
So again, you're warming up the articulators of your lips so that you're not fumbling over your words. Now that's another one.
Interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting. I know there was a sentence I used to train people to say where you emphasize, a different word in the sentence, and it has a completely different meaning. Now, these days, it's an awful sentence to say, but I'm going to say it as an illustration. Okay. And the sentence, I'm going to say it in a flat way. Okay. I did not say he beat his wife.
Uh-huh.
And if you say, I did not say he beat his wife.
Yep.
And versus, I did not say he beat his wife. I did not say he beat his wife. You get the idea. Yes. Each word creates a different meaning to the sentence and also helps to loosen up your vocal variety and practice a little bit.
Right. I have my clients stand with a partner and they go back and forth, just saying 1, 2, 3, back and forth, just saying the numbers all the way up to 20. But the rule of the game is that you have to say the number with a different emotion. So you might say it's sad, like 1. The next one would be 2.
Let's play the game.
Back and forth, yes.
1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
6,
7.
That's it. So then you get and as you and I obviously experience, we get playful. We lighten up a little bit, and that's a good thing too.
Any type of a situation where, whether you're interviewing, presenting, running a meeting, where your personality comes out, you're richer as a presenter.
Right.
It makes a big difference in how you connect with people.
Right.
So we've been talking about nervous people.
Yeah.
Is there more for the nervous ones?
This could be for nervous or not nervous, but anybody that just really wants to give themselves an advantage. And I do this, again, this is something I love to do in my learning labs, but you can do it, again, in the car to yourself out loud. You can tell the story, and it's important that you figure out what this story is going to be on a regular basis, of a time in your life that you succeeded. So that time when I got up in front of the class and I gave that results of my research paper, not only did I get an A+ from the teacher, but I got a lot of pats on the back from my colleagues, and I was offered that job because of that presentation. So what you're doing is you're reminding yourself, you're bringing your past self, a past success, into the present moment. And it is it's a really perfect affirmation, and it's a perfect anchor for saying, did it then, I'm doing it now.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
Is there more for the nervous person, or are those the basic points you coach people into doing to prepare?
Yeah, definitely. Those are some really strong ones. And then I'm going to give you one more.
Oh, goody.
And again, this could be nervous or anybody, again, that just really wants to kind of just go for the gusto, is if you are on your way someplace to an interview, in the car, on the subway, wherever you are, listen to a piece of music. that gives you pleasure, that really amps you up. Again, you're giving yourself this sense of, you're reminding yourself maybe of a time in your life. You are maybe able to sing along with the song, but the song is evoking an up energy for you, mentally, physically, and even memories. So again, that is going to calm you down and bring pleasure to you. Put aside all your worries, put aside all the rehearsing in your mind of what you're going to say. Just get into this joyful, upbeat, positive, affirming mindset. And I think that in itself carries you a long, long way.
I agree. And the one reminder, folks, is don't start singing so loudly you cause yourself laryngitis.
Right.
I've done that one before.
Right.
Before going into a meeting, I was in the car. I was having a great time, and I lost my voice. Kind of embarrassing to walk in, and I'm kind of croaking my answers. Not the best way to present. So just have some fun with it, but just be cautious a little degree. So we've been focusing on the nervous person.
Right.
Going into the meeting, the interview, the presentation. How about for the not nervous person? Let's go to the one who needs to get amped up. They're just feeling off.
Well, again, I think that all of these are for the nervous person and for the person that is already somewhat confident but just wants that leg up, and for the person that might feel a little subdued because they're so nervous that some people get so nervous that it taps their energy down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that all of these are going to awaken the body, wake up the voice, calm the nerves, and give you that extra, it gives you that extra little mileage that maybe the other people in the waiting room getting ready to do that interview haven't done. And I think the main point of all of this is that you are creating a state of being. That's really what it is that you're creating a state of being. And that reads, even if you make a mistake in your interview, even if you maybe don't have the perfect answer, that there's a presence about you, that you're not holding in or fidgety, that you've kind of got some control going in of your body and your voice. And I just shared this with a candidate. I'm helping a candidate for county commissioner in my area, and he's got a full-time job, and he's going from here to there. And I said, I want you to figure out 3 things that you're going to do every single time, the same song, the same 3 exercises to get yourself prepared. Because what happens is that when you create your preparation ritual, your sequence of preparation, that the body, the mind, your whole self says, okay, I know this. This is what is getting me ready to go do this. And by creating your own ritual, you're not having to think about it. Well, what should I do next? You're not having to make a choice. You say, okay, I did my shaking. I did my vocal. I took a deep breath, and I listened to that rockin' song on my iPod or whatever.
iPod, you're dating yourself.
Sorry. Sorry. I know I am. I'm 8 years old. I am from.
We're not going to talk. And I'll just simply say for myself, I remember seeing Tony Robbins, what seems like 100 years ago. And folks, if you've ever seen Tony do a presentation on YouTube or Netflix, wherever, you'll see that this is a man with an incredible amount of energy, and he's on stage all the time. And I remember him doing an exercise with all of us. There's like several thousand of us in a ballroom at a hotel in Manhattan. Right. And I remember coming out of that with a gesture where if I was going into a situation, I'm just going to pull back ever so slightly, and I'll elevate my hands a little bit so you can see it. I would go, yes, And that would jack up my energy a lot.
Yeah.
So that in this way, if I was feeling off, I would just start pumping my fist, and that would energize me.
Yep.
Folks, you're going to have your own version of this. And Barry's
Yep.
got some great stuff, particularly for your voice, where you're going to be speaking.
Right.
And you want to make sure you're on.
Right.
And it does make a difference.
And that's the good point, Jeff. What you just said is you have to find yours.
Right.
You have to find what works for you. How are you wired? What do you need? Figure that out. Do it on a regular basis, and it's a winner.
You betcha.
Yeah.
Is there anything I haven't asked you so far that I should, in order to give my audience what they need for prepping the last few minutes?
Goodness. Well, I could make a suggestion on a book, if that is
Fabulous.
Yeah. So I do a lot of preparation things. I've always done the physical and the vocal. But in reading this book, and it's also there's a short podcast by Daniel Pink that also has this. And the book is called Psyched Up: How the Science of Mental Preparation Can Help You Succeed. It is by Daniel McGinn.
Fabulous. And folks, I'll have a link in the show notes to it. So if you want to click through on Amazon, you'll be able to order the book there.
Yes.
Fabulous. Barry, how can people reach you if they're interested in you coaching them in some way for speaking or anything else that you're involved with?
Right. I'm at standandDeliverAsheville.com, and you can find me at my website.
Is there an email address where they could message you as well?
That is true. Barry, Barrie, at standandDeliverAsheville.com.
Fabulous. And folks, I come out with a lot of content, and I hope to be able to help you with more. I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. If you're interested in my coaching you about your job search or staffing, connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. Mention that you saw the interview with Barry. I love knowing that people see this stuff and it's helpful to them. And once we're connected, then drop me a message through LinkedIn. We'll schedule a time to speak and see if it makes sense. Hope you have a great day and take care.